everyone and welcome back to WaverlyReads. I said that really weird. So today I'm going to do my January and my February wrap up. These were two really bad reading months for me. All in all, I only read 8 books. Kind of cheated and put kids books in that to make the number higher. These are some of the books I read. I read one on my Kindle and then I think 3 books or 2 books I just don't own. Today we're going to get straight into it and just go with the flow so I can get this wrap up of shame out of the way. So glad that my slump is over. The first book I read on the, actually I was ending my year with this book, so I finished it on the 1st of January, Fire Spell by Chloe Neal. I read this book because I was given the 2nd or the 3rd book by my friend Lisa, and she said that it's a witchy school book, so obviously it's like my type of thing. This book is about a girl who has to go to this school for special children, and her roommate is this kind of like monster hunter, and she sneaks out at night and goes into the basement where there is all sorts of supernatural things happening, and she basically wants to find out what her best friend is up to. I did that any justice, but you know what? I suck at describing books, so you're gonna have to just go with that. The second book I read, I finished on the 7th of January, and that is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I really loved this book. I absolutely adored it. I just loved it. I thought it was really sweet and just a good story, and it's not my typical book. I don't really read historical fiction. Okay, so this book is about a young girl in the time just before World War II. I believe it takes place just before, and she is adopted into this German family, and this might be a spoiler, like some people consider it a spoiler, I personally don't. Basically they take in this Jewish person and they hide him in their basement and try to keep him protected. There's no way to describe this book. I just really enjoyed it. It's narrated by Death, and I loved the writing style and the way that he portrayed it, and just I really liked this book. The 3rd book I read on January the 11th, and that was Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer. This is Twilight reimagined gender bender. So Bella is a boy, Edward's a girl, and everyone is their opposite gender besides Charlie and Renee. And I really did enjoy this. I preferred the ending. I just preferred this book a lot more than I preferred Twilight, which is actually a big thing for me. Twilight was like the first fan base I got involved with. I preferred the ending. I preferred the her writing style was a lot better. She described things better. The only thing that did get me is I got really confused with the Cullen children, and I kept getting them mixed up on who is who, but I wouldn't say that made the book bad. I really liked this book. If you're wondering where the title is, it got rubbed off with a bit of a damaging problem I had. Explained in my last video. You can, go watch that if you want to. I wouldn't, it's not that good of a story, but yeah. The 4th book I read on January 16th, and that is Lament by Maggie Stiefvater. This is a reread for me. I read it when it first came out in 2011, I think. I was 12 or 13 years old, and I really loved it back then, and I really loved it again. This is about a girl named Dee, or Deirdre technically. There's a clover hand, which is a mortal who can see fairies. She meets this fairy who is destined to kill her, and they end up falling in love, and it's so cute. I know why I love this book, and that's literally just because the romance is adorable, and it's just, I wish I was Dee. And I would have wished I was Dee at that age too. It's just something like every little girl would ever wish that she could see fairies. As you can see, that wasn't really that bad. I read 4 books in 16 days, so that wasn't a bad part of my reading month. But after this book, January 16th, I didn't read another book until February 12th. It's almost a full month I went without reading, and the book I did read at that point was Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. You can see this book's really damaged. Again, you can go watch my last video to figure out why. This book is 60 pages long. I was getting absolutely nowhere with my reading. I don't know what happened after I put this down. It didn't put me in a slump or anything. I just didn't pick up another book afterwards, and I'm ashamed that after I did, a month later, I read this, really short. But this was so cute. It's the first Rainbow Rowell book I've ever read, and it was adorable, and I really liked it, even though the entire plot is just her sat outside a cinema with these 2 guys for a few days. But you know what? It was good, and this definitely made me want to pick up some more Rainbow Rowell books. And I read The Hostage Bargain by Anika Martin. This is basically just a little smut book, or I say little, it's like 400 pages long, but it is a smut book about this girl who works in a bank and 3 bank robbers come in and rob the bank. What do you know, she doesn't like her boss, so she essentially helps give them more loot and then escapes with them as their hostage. And as their hostage, she is required to do some very sickening things with these 3 guys. Apart from the fact that one of the guys doesn't want her there because the last girl they had there, that's a spoiler. I did like this. I actually put this on my favourite shelf because I haven't read a smut book with so much like character development and storyline behind it. And I finished that book the same day that I finished Kindred Spirits. The next book I read was on the 24th of February, 12 days before I read a book, and I read this. And I didn't even read it for myself, I read it to my niece to go to bed. I don't even need to explain what this is about, you know what it's about. I liked it, it's a nice little kid's story, and that's just... The last book I read is no different. I read Black Beauty by, where is it? By Sue Perkis. Again, this is another kid's book I read to my niece to put her to sleep. So, she'd fall asleep about halfway through, and I continued it because I was interested to see where it was going. So I technically read half of it for myself, but yeah. I read that on the 25th of February, and that was all the reading I did for those 2 months. I got put behind my goal for my 100 books, and currently catching up, I'm now only 4 books behind, whereas at the beginning of March I was like 10 books behind, so I'm catching up slowly but surely. I think I can like get back on track. So these are most of the books that I read in January and February. Dropping them. If you liked this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you have read any of these books in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Waverly, and now I'm off to read. Bye! So, I've had a bit of a situation. It's not a good one. Basically, I have lost a lot of my books. Not in the sense like I've misplaced them or they've been taken or stolen or anything, but they've been damaged, as in like damaged beyond repair. We had a sort of flood and a lot